Well, the compensation management is a process to manage, to administer the compensation of employees, to, to administer the compensation of a group of employees or employees across the organization in a periodic manner. So in specific cycles, the compensations are revised for all the employees in the organization, and that is actually done using the compensation management module. Okay, and we are going to see how it works. Okay, so now before we actually go into the life cycle of the process, I would first like to touch upon this aspect as how your employer compensates you. Okay, so what are different components of compensation? So we will first see how employer compensates you, right? So these are actually the elements using which the employer compensates you. So you see, this one is your base salary. These are actually they depend on how much overtime you work. This is the holiday pay. These are insurance and benefit. So these are not paid to you in terms of the cash. So these are like benefits. So insurance is actually a direct benefit that company gives you, similar to your benefits, right? We'll see what these two insurance and benefit, these two elements, what they contain inside. And then these are other three: bonus and awards and gifts, right? So this is a list of pay elements using which your organization can compensate you. Okay, so now out of this, the benefits actually, when I say benefit, it's actually tuition assistance, childcare assistance, retirement plans, and gym membership. So these are the benefits that your organization gives you, not in terms of direct cash, not part of your regular salary, but it's a benefit, right? Similar to your insurance, right? So when I say insurance, you have your health, life, and disability. Okay, so your health insurance. So your company pays your health insurance, not, if not fully, then at least partially, right? Same as life and disability. So these are again uh, a type of benefit that the company give to its employees, not in the form of direct cash, but in terms of benefits, right? So so now when we say the compensation management process, so there are actually three types of compensation management. Okay, so the first one, which targets the base pay, and we call the base compensation. So in that, we actually configure the base component part of it. So that only targets the base pay of employees, base salary of employees. Okay. But there are two other, so you might have heard of the base compensation, but there are two others, right? The second one is the variable compensation. So these are, since the variable pays, right? The bonus, awards, and gifts. So these are the variable pays. They depend on your on the employee's performance or some events. So they're not part of your agreement with the employer. When you join the organization, they don't tell you that whether they will be giving you this much bonus or not. That entirely depends on the performance of your. Uh, and then there can be a number of bonuses of different types that also differs across the industries. So a manufacturing company might have a different set of bonus and awards and gifts, etc. Gifts like your Diwali gifts or occasional festival gifts that you receive. So these are the variable part of your salary, part of your compensation. Let's not call it salary. Salary is a different thing altogether, right? So we target these three, we manage these three using the variable compensation module. So there is a variable compensation module which we use to actually give out these additional compensation to employees. Okay. Now there is third one, total compensation. So the scope of total compensation is the base compensation plus the benefits. Okay. So now here you have mainly insurance and benefits, right? So your total compensation targets the base pay, insurance, and the benefit. Anyway, overtime and holiday pay, they are rarely changed by as part of the total compensation, because they entirely depend on the base pay. But at times, if employer is very generous and they want to give an additional rate which is not related to base pay, they can very well do that. But that will again be handled through total compensation. So my point here is that, so we have three type of compensation managements: one, base compensation; second, variable compensation; and the third one is total compensation. And each one of these, they actually target a specific set of the compensation elements. So now let's understand the compensation process life cycle. Okay, how it works. So now, compensation life cycle, actually it encompasses these five steps. Okay, so set budget, create worksheet, proposal, approval, and apply changes. This is the final step. So these are the series of steps that we need to perform that are actually part of a compensation process life cycle. Then now we'll see one by one. So the first one is set budget. So first, see the set budget. So what is set budget? So well, let's see, you have these employees and their salaries. Now, if you look closely into this tree, these are all the employee at the bottom level, at the bottom in the pyramid. Then there are these four are manager ones, these two are manager two, and this is the final. This is the end of this hierarchy. It's like CEO, or you can say managing director, who's at the top of the organization. Okay. So now, but each one of these employees, they would have some salary, right? They would have some base salary and then variable pays, etc. Right. So in the set budget step, what usually happens? Someone like a cycle manager actually sets the budget for the current compensation year as to how much maximum the compensation can be revised for each one of the employees. So in this case, let's say there are 5,000 employees, then how much maximum budget we can allocate for the salary increment this year? When I say salary increment process, let's call it compensation process, compensation revision cycle. So at the beginning of the cycle, a cycle manager will actually set the budget for the current year compensation cycle. Now that budget is actually decided by not just the cycle manager. Cycle manager is only doing the administrative part of it. So that budget is actually defined by people higher up in the organization. Somebody like CFO, CEO himself or herself, right? So these the people at the top are the board of directors. They actually sit together and they decide how much we can allocate for the salary increment this year, right? So now, so let's say cycle manager, it has been decided that for this year, so before this, let's say the total salary of these employees, right? The total salary of these employees is coming to $1 million. So what has happened just now? So what system does? System first calculates total salary. Okay, now the total salary is coming out as $1 million. So what the board of directors will do, they would do something like 10% of the total base salary of each employee. Let's keep it aside for the compensation review this year. So they have decided that the 10% of the total salary of all the employees has been set aside for the compensation budget. So this process is called setting the budget. Okay. Now it's not that they would always calculate the 10% of the total base salary of employees. They can very well modify it, they can override it, they can make it like, let's say, 110,000. They can add additional $10,000 to it. But it's just a hypothetical scenario. Okay. So let's say they have set a budget of $100,000 for this year's compensation cycle. And that has come from the 10% of the base salary of all the employees in the organization. Okay. So the first step is done. The budget has been set. Please interrupt if you have any questions. So the budget part is done. Now the next one is the worksheet. Now the next step is the creation of the worksheets. Now what are the worksheets? Basically, so let's say you have this organization, right? These are the employees. You know who are the managers and who are the employees at the bottom, right? So these two are also employees of this manager, and these two are also employees of this manager. So everybody is basically, after all, employee, but some of these are actually managers also. Okay, so it depends from which person you are looking at, right? So if you look at from this person, so this would look like a manager, and these four are employees, his or her direct reports, right? So similar to this one. So if you look from this person's perspective, so this would be a manager, and all of these would be the employees. So these six will be the indirect employees, and these are the direct reportees, right? So now when we say create worksheet steps, so what really happens? Cycle manager would basically create worksheet for all these employees. Okay, so it does something like this. So now you have this was the person at the top, and these two are this person's direct reportees, right? Again, these two are at the level 2 if you look at from the top, right? So these two are at level 2, and each one have two reportees. So these two employees are his reportees, his or her reportees, and these two employees are his or her reportees, right? Similarly, the bottom employees, they are also reportees of these four managers. So if you had looked it closely, if you remember recall, so these four were the reportees of this one. So all in all, in the create worksheet step, what happens, cycle manager basically executes a process, or there is a button or something that which they would click, and a worksheet will be created for each employee in the organization, right? So a worksheet like this, right? So now after the worksheet is created, what is the next step? Proposal. So after the worksheet has been created, now basically the job of each manager would come in picture. Okay, so the proposal is when, let's say you have the worksheets created, okay, and you have managers actually who are responsible for each worksheet. Basically, they're responsible for their own direct reports. Okay, so but before these managers could do anything, right? In a typical scenario, in an ideal scenario, if let's say we are also using the performance management uh, along with the compensation management, so in the ideal scenario, the the ratings from the performance management would be coming here. System would basically extract the ratings from the performance management. So the performance cycle has just finished. Before the compensation cycle starts, the performance cycle finishes, right? So by the time the compensation can be started, they have to finish the performance, all the ratings and everything's are finalized. So when the compensation management is happening, and we are coming at this step, so system would basically extract the rating given to all the employees from the performance management module, and the ratings would be first extracted from the performance management. So this would happen first, and this is not something which these managers are doing. This is an ideal scenario where the system would first extract the ratings from the performance management, and based on the rating there would be a rating matrix. So there would be a rating matrix. So what system would do next is, based on the rating matrix, it would propose a salary increment to each one of these employees based on their rating. So rating matrix is basically nothing but it gives a mapping of the salary increment value based on the for each performance rating and the salary range that the employee is currently in, right? So at any given time, an employee, so as you all know that for any grade, right? So there is a salary range, there is a mid point, there is a low point, there is a high point. So if an employee is, let's say, at the midpoint of that salary grade, then how much maximum they can get, how much maximum increment they can get if they get the rating of 5. So if they are getting the rating of 5, which is the top rating, and they are at the mid range of the salary of that grade, then the maximum that they can be given is 8% of increment as per the system, as per this rating matrix. Okay. And if they are, again, if they are at the high point of the salary grade range, then the maximum they can get is 6%. Okay. So this is how the rating matrix is defined, to make it more automated as to, when when this steps comes, because the proposal step is really a time taking step. So there are a lot of employees, and you have to basically so that you don't really have to look into each and every employee's salary and see their whether they are falling into the mid range or the lower range or the high range, and do it one by one. So there is a rating matrix defined which would do this task for you, right? So based on this rating matrix, then system would update the increment for these employees. System would propose the increment of these employees automatically. Okay, so the increment is coming from the rating matrix, and it will be updated in the worksheet of all these employees. As you can see, the increment has been updated. So this is the automated part. So as yet, these managers are not doing anything. Okay, it is happening on its own. Although the worksheet has been created, but this up to this point, the things are happening on its own. Okay. So now, after the system updates the increment based on the rating matrix, then the next step is that these managers can go ahead and make changes to these ratings, these increments. So they can very well go ahead and override. They might not want to override for all of them, right? So obviously, I mean, this manager cannot override the increment for the employees who are of a different manager, who are of a different hierarchy, right? So every manager can only update the increment for their own small hierarchy, right? So for example, this manager at the bottom can only update the increment for these three, because these three employees are his or her direct reportees. He or she cannot touch the increment of other employees. So obviously each one of these employees, so now their job comes in picture. So now they are actually, what they are doing now for their own worksheets which they are assigned, and in those worksheets employees are there, so they can very well make changes to these increments which are proposed by the system, right? So let's say that they make some changes. So let's say this one at the top, he or she overrides the increment to 9 and 7%, and these two also override. So you see these increments with a different color, they have been actually modified by these individual managers. Okay. So now after they modify it, it's like it's finalized, right? Now they're not making any further changes. Okay. Now proposal is done, right? Proposal has been created. Okay. So what is the next step? The approval. So now this proposal needs to be sent for the approval. Okay, so what will happen in the approval step? Basically, after the salary has been final, the increment has been finalized by each one of these managers, they would basically send each one of these proposals for approval. So they would simply send each one of these worksheet for approval, and the approval process can involve people from maybe somebody like CFO or CEO himself or herself, people from the board of directors. I mean, so a workflow is like it's a broad area. I mean, there can be n number of people part of that approval workflow, right? But the point here is that each one of these individuals or the managers, they would send the proposals for the approval for their own direct reports. Okay. So after obviously this happens, so there is approval as the next step, right? So so when the proposal is sent for approval, so the next step is that each one of these worksheets will be approved. Okay, so people who are part of that workflow will be approving these individual worksheets which have been sent by these proposers. So we are calling them proposers, right? So so after the final approver approves that proposal, then it is actually considered as approved. Okay. Now, after this has been approved, then that means that the final step is to apply changes. So now in the apply changes, it's straightforward. So there can be a number of ways using which the changes can be applied. Okay. So now it depends on your HCM software, how it has been designed. So in smaller the softwares which cater to smaller small and medium enterprises with limited number of employees, they simply have a step in the workflow itself which would trigger on its own, and it will update the increment or the salary of each and every employee who are part of the proposal, right? In the enterprise, in the HCM softwares which cater to enterprise customers where there are like tens of thousands of employees, then obviously to manage this huge chunk of data, they have to have a separate process which will be triggered after the final approval is done, or by someone who is a person like admin or someone payroll administrator or someone like that, who would trigger that process, and it will then, based on the proposals, it will update the increment of all the employees in the organization. Okay, so this is the end of it. So this is the end of the compensation management life cycle.
Subscribe HCM Simplified and hit the bell icon. Hit like if the video was informative.